I spent the last 3 days running an audit that I honestly wish I hadn't started. Now, I'm sitting here in my car looking at 2 different receipts. One is from a standard grocery trip, and the other, it's a local pharmacy. On the surface, they look like 2 different parts of my life. One is for sustenance, the other is for health. But when you audit the ownership behind these brands, you realize that where I live and where most of you live, we're being caught in a closed loop system here. A toxic spiral designed to profit from your hunger on the front end and your sickness on the back end. So let's start with facts. I looked at a box of cereal that is a staple in most American homes. It contains something called BHT, a synthetic preservative used to keep oils from spoiling. It contains red dye number 40 and yellow number 5. And as of early 2026, these aren't just controversial ingredients. In the European Union, many of these additives are either banned outright or required to carry a warning label regarding children's activity and attention. And in the UK, they've reformulated these same products to use like beet juice and turmeric. But here, where I live, we get the chemicals. The US operates on a post-market regulatory stance, which effectively means a chemical is assumed safe until proven otherwise. Now, here is where this audit's going to get clinical. I want you to look at the top institutional shareholders of the companies making these foods. Now, if you look at the SEC filings for 2026 season, you'll see the same names over and over: BlackRock, Vanguard, and State Street. Now, they own massive double-digit stakes in the largest processed food conglomerates in the world. But then, you look at the top shareholders for the pharmaceutical giants, the companies that sell the insulin, the companies that sell you your heart medication, the companies that sell the anti-inflammatories. Hey, they're the same names: Vanguard, BlackRock, and State Street. They're consistently the top 3 shareholders in both the poison and the cure. This is a fiduciary masterpiece, let me tell you, but also a human tragedy, because they profit when you buy the ultra-processed inflammatory food, which, by the way, is much more affordable than the actual good stuff, and they profit again when that food leads to chronic conditions that require a pharmaceutical subscription. It's a perfectly balanced ledger, and the consumer is the asset being liquidated. Now I want you to do a mental audit of your own community. I want you to drive down the road where you live, okay? Now, what do you see? Look, I see a cluster of some fast food joints, and right next to them, directly across the street here, there's a big pharmacy, CVS, and a quick care clinic, and this isn't by coincidence. Look, it's an actual ecosystem. And if you've noticed that your town has more pharmacies than grocery stores, you know what? Type spiral in the comments down below. I want to see if this is a national trend or just what I'm seeing here. Now, over on my other channel, the Expat Review, I often talk about why quality of life feels higher in places like, Portugal, Spain, Thailand. People think it might be the weather. No, it's not. It's the precautionary principle in effect here. In those countries, the system assumes a chemical is guilty until proven innocent. Here, the system is designed to maximize shareholder value above all else. And unfortunately, there is no shareholder value in a healthy person who doesn't need a grocery store box or a pharmaceutical bottle. A healthy person is the dead zone. And on a corporate balance sheet, look, we have reached the final nail in the American health system. We are being fed for profit and treated for profit. And until you take control of the inputs in your life, you're going to remain a permanent line item on someone else's ledger. So that's all I have for today. I was looking at this and I figured, you know what? Let's call it out the way it is. So take care. I'll see you in the next one.